kanani ka ʻŌlelo. I mea e kokua ai I ka hoʻikeika ana I ka lāhui. Ma ke kuana ike Hawaiʻi, ma ke ano he Hawaiʻi. O ia kanani o ka mālama ana I ka kākou ʻŌlelo, I ke ia la.
ʻŌlelo Hawaii is the story of our people. Within our language carries all that we believe in, all that we've been. Everything is in our ʻŌlelo.
E mea nui ko kākou hoʻola ana ka ʻŌlelo no ka mea o ka kākou ʻŌlelo ia. Ale no I hoʻoili ia mai hanauna mai a ke kai hanauna. Kou mela ua aihue ia he o ko kākou hoʻoilina kela a ua aihue ia ma ke kai ano. Ano lila e no kākou ke hoʻaone hoʻola hou I ke kai mea ano kākou kela mea.
He kule ana no, nā kākou e au amo, mahalo hoʻi ka poʻe kupuna I ʻŌlelo mai, ia kākou. I paipai no hoʻi, ia kākou e hoʻomau, a ole e pio ke ia ʻŌlelo maka mai a kākou, hoʻomau.
Mai Hawaiʻi o ke awe, a hiki ke oneoni I hau o ka helelani, aloha mai kākou a pauloa. I'm Kela Chong, and welcome to this special presentation of Ola Ka ʻŌiwi o ka ʻāina, celebrating Hawaiian language revitalization. 30 years have passed since Hawaiian was designated as an official language of the state of Hawaii. Once on the brink of extinction, Hawaiian is now the fastest growing native language in the United States. Did you know that over 100 years ago, Hawaii was one of the most literate nations on earth? Join us as we take a closer look at the vibrant return of ʻŌlelo Hawaii. No laila, e nānea mai I keia mo ʻŌlelo haʻaheo o ka kākou ʻŌlelo makuahine. Hawaiian culture flourished for centuries without a system of writing. After learning to read and write, Hawaiians became one of the world's most literate people within a single generation.
Ke eme o ke ia mana aupuni, mana o ka malama ana I nā kula ma ka ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi a hoʻomaka ka lāhui e noʻonoʻo. Ea e kou mea o ka mana o ka ʻŌlelo I ka haole, ka mea e loa mai ai ke kālā. Komo aku I ka lepu palika, ia wā o ka lepu palika o miku mawalu kanaiwa kumauno, ho paa ia he kānawai e pāpā ana I ka hoʻohana I ka ʻŌlelo. I loko o nā kula, e hoʻo nā awawai I nā keiki o Hawaiʻi nei. He mea ku e loa ke la I ke ola o ka ʻŌlelo. A ole o ia mea hoʻokahi a ka he mea I keika loa ke la.
The language wasn't outlawed. It was not used as a language of instruction, but major impact on the whole society and on how people view it. The more urban centers, that's where change happens the fastest. That's where the drive for English was the hardest. You know, the insistence of parents and grandparents that the children speak English and speak it well. You know, go to normal school, even though grandma only spoke Hawaiian, insisting that, you know, my children will progress.
Well, from day one at Kamehameha, Hawaiian language was banned. William Olson was the first principal of the school. We're talking 1887. And one of the first orders he gave was to ban the Hawaiian language on campus. In work, in play, everywhere on campus, the Hawaiian language was not to be used. Any number of strategies, incentives, tactics, punishments were used to make sure that he accomplished this goal.
Ua lohe ia na moʻolelo ka ke kai poʻe a kupuna ua leki ia ka waha ua mea hoʻopaʻi ia I loko o nā kula ua hele ke kumu I ka hale e peka I mua o nā makua ke ʻŌlelo nei kau keiki I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi he kula ʻŌlelo haole ke ia he mau moʻolelo kela I laha ma loko o kela hanauna no lila ale hiki ke hoʻohalahala ia lākou ka hoʻoili ole mai I ka ʻŌlelo ma luna o kākou ke ia mau hanauna ua hoʻopaʻi ia lākou.
What was developed here by Principal Olson was essentially an English immersion school where native children were taken from their Hawaiian-speaking families, put into an immersion situation, and we know from our friends in the Hawaiian immersion program how powerful a pedagogy that is. Spectacular results within a few years. Of course, Hawaiian kids had their ku'e moments, and there were very strong, if subtle, revolts against this prohibition from the very beginning. And there are wonderful stories all throughout the early years of the school, anecdotal stories about students standing up in violation of this.
The early 20th century was a time of great change. By the 1960s, Hawaiian was used mostly by the older generation. With the exception of the Ni'ihau community and few rural areas on other islands, Hawaiian was no longer spoken as a language of daily life. Then something extraordinary happened. At the Constitutional Convention of 1978, Hawaiian was made an official language of Hawaii. Things began to change.
Well, 1978 was the Constitutional Convention, and an amazing thing happened in that all the people of Hawaii came together and voted in favor of reestablishing the Hawaiian language as an official language of Hawaii and giving it special support in education.
5 years later, everyone that I knew was using that to empower the change in, naming it a state language helped make the street signs are starting to get marked. The official documents coming out of the capital could be translated and produced in Hawaiian.
In the 1820s, the language was reduced to a written form. So for the first time, Hawaiians were able to read and write their own language. This goes on for a couple years. Within 12 years, the first newspaper is created.
Placing great value on the spoken word, Hawaiian culture thrived for centuries. Once Hawaiians became literate, they developed a dynamic newspaper industry with at least 100 different periodicals circulating from as early as 1834. Hawaiian newspapers served as a repository of cultural knowledge and information. It was like a national library for one of the most literate nations in the world.
What gets discussed a lot is the rapid grasp of literacy, that the Hawaiian kingdom became literate in a generation, really. But to look at what preceded it really tells you what fueled it, is that for 40 years, watching the foreign contact developed a great appreciation, a lust almost for all of the new technologies, all the new wonders that were coming on ships. Well, reading and writing was one of those.
Kaui ke auri, mo'i no Hawaii nei. Oia ka mo'i no lo ihi, a ʻŌlelo oia o kona aupuni, o ka ua aupuni, he aupuni palapala. No ka mea ua ike oia ka vaivai, o ke kanaka pono, oia ke kanaka e ho'opaa, ike e mea hou ka palapala. Laha, a o ka ho'ike oia laha, oia nā nupepa Hawaii e kune ike I manawa.
In the 1820s, the language was reduced to a written form. So for the first time, Hawaiians were able to read and write their own language. This goes on for a couple years. Within 12 years, the first newspaper is created. Kalama Hawaii is created from Lahaina Luna High School, and they did it really just for their students. The students of Lahaina Luna, they got a hold of this old printing press, a Ramage printing press, and they just wanted to teach this new medium of communication. So they were going to print broadsides and just communicate it throughout the school. Well, the parents got it, communities got it, and they thought, oh my God, this is a really awesome thing. Within a year, the next paper, Ke Kumu Hawaii, starts. Boom, Hawaiian language newspapers start. The repository of Hawaiian language newspapers runs from 1834 to 1948. 116 years of Hawaiians in dialogue. Language, culture, history, oli, mele, winds, rain, anything you can think of, a society moving, growing, progressing, angry, everything is contained within these newspapers.
Newspapers are still printed in Hawaiian until 1948, but they're being read by a diminishing population. And the dialogue that goes on for the next 50 years, very different from the dialogue in the previous 50. Because now there's a lot of discussion on how can we keep it from slipping away.
Today, the newspapers of the past are being used to educate the next generation of Hawaiian speakers.
Some of the challenges, I think, of committing to being an immersion are language resource material right off. From the time they're in Punana Leo, there's Oki and Tuku is, I think, the first Hawaiian words you learn. Oki and tuko is to cut and paste. So we have material that we want our children to read. It has to be translated. We Xerox that. We got to cut it out, paste it over. And this is what we do to prepare so the children have something to read.
This is a publication from the Hale Kumo'o. It's a book about Keku Haupi'o. I just wanted to quickly explain the process. This is the end product. This is taken from the old Hawaiian newspapers, so it has to be typed up, and then we have a process where either one or several people will look at the text and make corrections. Wa ha'awi ia ke kāla no ke kukulu ana I kia hale. A ka'ali I ha'awi ia ke kāla no ka ho'omohala ana I na ha'awina. Ale ha'awi ia ke kāla no ka hai ana I na limahana o kia wahi. No leila pono mako e imi mau I ke kāla, kakau I na noi kāla, me ka mana'o, hiki ke ho'omau I ka hana no ka mea, hiki ke I ke a'ole pau ka hana. Nui ka hana I koe ma ka hakumu ʻŌlelo, ka hako ana I na ha'awina, ka ho'omakaukau ana I na kumu.
The Ho'olaupa'i Hawaiian Language Newspaper Resource Project, it started first under Alolike as a pilot, ran its first year there, and it was found that this could be done. We used this OCR optical character recognition technology in order to run the papers through a process. And what it does is you can put a certain dictionary in, process it through, and it only reads that language. So the newspapers are digitized. We run them through this process, utilizing Puku'i's dictionary, which has been digitized, and it identifies the words that it can't read, aren't in the dictionary, whatever is the problem, and an operator proficient in Hawaiian runs it through a process. And from that process creates a searchable word text. So today, for the first time, you can go to our website at ulukau.org, go to Nanu Pepa ʻŌlelo Hawaii, and you're able to put in any word that you want to search and come up with every instance that it was ever in the newspapers.
Ka ko'o mākou I ka kia o nā kula o Kamehameha, ma ka ho'opuka ana, ma ka ho'omalele ana, I nā huahana. Make no mākou e ho'i kaika I ka hā Hawaii, ke ola mauli Hawaii, I a mau huahana.
Pi'o ua lo'a ke kahi, pūkai, nui loa, kupa naha noa I kapa ia o ia ke kihapu. Ho'opili mai kihapu. Oia.
Ma ka lohe ana I ka ʻŌlelo I kela me kia la, a ma ka ho'ohana ana I ka ʻŌlelo I kela me kia la, pēlā e pa'a I ka ʻŌlelo I keia hanauna hou.
When I first was introduced to the Hawaiian language immersion program at Wai'au Elementary, I knew instantly after meeting the teachers, the parents, and the supporters, and the children, that this program would be a success. But never did I ever imagine that it would be as successful as you have all made it.
On February 8th, Hawaiian immersion schools from all over Hawaii converged at the state capitol to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Kula Kaiapuni Immersion Schools.
Oh, me ke'i, he hana ho'ohanohano wale no ke ia I ka polokalamu ka piha ana I o kālua makaiki. E papahana o ko'a ke ia, ua ma'awa o ka hele ana I ke kapikala no ke koikoi ana I ke lapoe. Ka kia ʻāina paha, ka nā kene koa, nā luna makainana. Koikoi ia lako e ho'olako I ke kala no ka polokalamu. Ke la me ke ia makaiki, I kawa I ho'omakai, nui ka po'e ho'omaloka, a ale no I pilivi, ua hiki no ke hana ia ke ia. Nui ho'i ka po'e mana'o ana e a ale wai o ka ʻŌlelo Hawaii, a o ka ʻŌlelo haole ka mea ke ala ho'i e ku ono ai, ka ohana a me ke la me ke ia keiki. No leila, he mō makahiki kela o ka hele ana I lalo ka kapikala no ke koikoi ana I kela po'e luna e ala e ho'omaopopo I ka waiwai o ke ia hana.
20 years have passed and we have a whole program that is instruction done through the medium of Hawaiian language. And of course, with that, we are bringing back a lot of what we had lost. With ʻŌlelo no ʻeau I ka ʻŌlelo no keola, I ka ʻŌlelo no kamake. In language, there is life. In language, there is death. If the language continues, the culture will continue.
O ke ia o imi loa, he kiko vaina ho'ona awao kilo hoku ke ia no na kaiaulu o Hawai'i nei a no ko ke ao holo o ko'a. Aia ia kiko vaina ma ke kula nui o Hawai'i mahilo, a o ke ia ka elua o na makahiki I he moai I ka lehulehu. O ke koleke a ʻŌlelo Hawai'i o ka haka ula o ke elikolani a me ka ahapuna na leo ho'i ke kahi o na pouhana I kaika I komo I ka ho'olālā no imi loa. A mai ki nohi mai mai ia ho'olālā ana ua ho'omohala ia ka ma'i'o e pa'a I ke ia hale ma o ka ʻŌlelo Hawai'i a ma o ke kuana I ke Hawai'i ho'i. Me ka mana'o no ho'i e unuhi ia na mana'o a pau I loko o ka ʻŌlelo Pelekani a ke kahi. Ano leila he ulu ke ia no ke aukahi ho'ola ʻŌlelo Hawai'i ke ia wahi o Imiloa. A he wahi ia e ha'aheo ai, e hapa ai kākou na Hawai'i I ko kākou mo'omeheu, I ko kākou mo'aukala, a I kā kākou ʻŌlelo I luna. A he wahi ia e āwili ana, e imi ana I ka āwili ia o ko kākou mo'omeheu me ke ia I ke epe ke maho.
Ona lako e hana po ia ho ike.
E na ku ane na kiki e a o ka pua Venezuela he keiki mākou kou awe a o e ai olu mai e ue komo I loko.
Ai, hiki no, hiki o ke komo I loko. Pehe o ai maka.
Loha e na kuma me na keiki e a o makawailan makabailan. He keiki mākou kou awe a o e ai olu mai e ue komo I loko.
Ai, hiki o ke.
My wife Mapuana and I are most proud of the fact that we raised our daughters speaking Hawaiian and that our daughters have now far surpassed us in the ability to speak Hawaiian, to understand Hawaiian, to think in Hawaiian. It's hard for us as latecomers to Hawaiian language to be comfortable or fluent, but we've done our best through our children to turn back the generations and have our children again be back where our parents and our grandparents were. That has been really the main focus of our lives, to have children who are again competent in the most important thing to us, the ʻŌlelo.
The re-establishment of Hawaiian medium education after nearly a century has given birth to a new generation of Hawaiian-speaking children today.
Ko ia wā a ole no I maa ka poe I ka no'ono'o I ka ho'ola ʻŌlelo. Kia manawa o ko'a ua ano ike ka poe ka waiwai o keia mea. A ka maia wā nui ka poe ku e hui ole. Ano leila I ano pupu ai ka holomua I ke ala manawa. No keia wā ano nui ka mana'o lana. No ka mea o ia mau poe o ia wā ua huli mai kako o mai kai keia manawa. Nui ka ohana, nui ka opio hoi I ke komo I loko ka papahana I keia manawa. Nui ka hana I koe, a ka ua loli I keia manawa. Nui ka mana'o lana.
O iai ua ho'omaka e kāka I kahi ka loa o ke la ano kupuna e hiki ana ke ʻŌlelo Hawai'i a ʻŌlelo Hawai'i piha ma ke ano he mana leo. Mai loko mai o ke la ano mana'o I ho'okumu iai keia mau kula punana leo ma kahi o ka makahiki kanawalu kumakolu paha I ho'okumu kuhelu iai nā kula mua. A maka lohe ana I ka ʻŌlelo I kela me kia la, a maka ho'ohana ana I ka ʻŌlelo I kela me kia la, pēlā e pa'a I ka ʻŌlelo I keia hanauna hou.
Ko ho'omaka ia no me nā kamali'i. Ko mea me nā kamali'i, he kino ke Ola Ka ʻŌlelo Hawai'i ma o lako. Ko e ke kumu a wehe ia ke ia kula. Ko ho'omaka mako ma ke la ano, ma ka no'ono'o e Ola Ka ʻŌlelo Hawai'i.
Ua ano ulu mai me ke la, ua lo'a mai nā kula ma ke kahi mau kaia ulu. Ma muli wale no ke la o ka ʻiʻini I waina o nā ohana. Nā kela me keia kaia ulu a me nā ohana o kela kaia ulu e ho'ike mai ana I ka hoihoi no ka lo'a o keia ano kula a me keia ano honua o ʻŌlelo Hawai'i ma ko lākou wahi. a pela I ho'okumu ia ma kekahi mau kaiaulu ma ka pae ʻāina.
Kamehameha has made a commitment that we will speak ʻŌlelo Hawaii in whatever ways we can on our campuses, within our preschools, even at Kaiha'o Plaza here. Many of the people who are in classes now learning at their own pace.
A Hawaiian kid, or even a non-Hawaiian kid who's raised in that total immersion where that becomes a piece of them, it changes what they're able to put out in both their social relations, in their expression, their writings, their inspirations are framed partly by the value of that language, what is inherent in that language. So I think there's a giant impact that goes beyond grammar quizzes.
Hana mako kia kalo no ka ʻāina ma ke kula mana wā pāina e like me kekai puka kula, kekai wā puka kula. Hana mako keia. Mai ka iloa keia no ka kupa ana, ka hana ana I ka poi.
Mai ka I hiki ke a'o ia na hanaona hou pehea e hana ki ano a ho'ola I kia hano o ka po'e Hawaii. Mahalo.
Ma ka punana leo, ke kula ka mali'i o ka punana leo o hilo. I mauhola o ke la ke ia la. I ko o ike maka ana, I ko o lohe pepe ao ana I na ka mali'i e ʻŌlelo ana I ko ʻŌlelo Hawaii. I ko ʻŌlelo wale ana ia lako I ka pa'ani paha, I ka hana ana paha, I ka hana no e ao. Ua maika'i, ma leila no e ho'o I ke ka apela no me ke ʻŌlelo paipai o nā kumu e a'o ana ma leila ia manawa.
Pono kākou e a'o I kia mau haumana e ho'i. No laila kukulu ana wau kākou nā kumu I ke kai kahua no lākou. A laila, hiki ana lākou ke ho'o mau, a I ke kahi la e ho'i lākou, e like me ia'u, a e lilo I kumu ma ka punana leo Honolulu. A oia ko mākou make make.
Ia o kou I ko hiki ke ʻŌlelo Hawaii?
Ai. ʻAʻole nui nā kanaka hiki ke ʻŌlelo Hawaii, so he mea maikaʻi kela.
Wai ko o ko ali'i punahele loa.
Kaua o ka maikaʻi.
A ka mai o ko ke oli.
A ka kaua o ka maikaʻi.
Okay.
Ua hoʻohui ʻoe I nā mokupuni a pau. He aka mai ma laila.
Ua hana o ko ke oli ke kahi mau mea maikaʻi ke kahi.
Mea maikaʻi ʻole ke kai pū.
Ai.
A'ole mea.
Ai ua ho'okumu ia o ka hakaula o ke ʻelikolani I ka makahiki ʻumikuma'iwa kanaiwa kumahiku. Mamuli o ka ho'oholo ia ana e ka aha ʻōlelo. Ma ke kahi kānawai I ho'okumu ia I ke koleke ʻōlelo Hawaii ma ke kulanui o Hawaii Mahilo Day. Mamuli ia o ka ike pela e ho'oholo mua I ka mākou mau papahana. O ka ʻōlelo Hawaii ka mākou ʻōlelo. I waena o nā kumu, a me nā haumana, a me nā limahana. O ia paha ka mea ano o koa. O iai, a ole mākou make ole I ka ʻōlelo haole. A ole mākou kako o ole I ka ʻōlelo haole. Kako o mākou I ka ʻōlelo Hawaii. O iai, o Hawaii nei kona ʻāina hanam, kona home.
Mahalo a nui ia Kamehameha. No ka mea nui nā poʻe I puka aku mai Kamehameha nei a'o I ka ʻōlelo Hawaii I ke ia manawa. Alaka'i lākou I nā mea e pili ana I ka ʻōlelo maku e hine. Nui nā poʻe. Mana o au o ka hapa nui o ka poʻe ma punana leo. He poʻe puka mai Kamehameha mai. Like me ka ua noi Kimura, ka ua noi Kamanā, Kalena Silva. Mahalo nui a lako a mena opio o ke ia wā ke kahi. You know, ho'o mau lako I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaii. Nui ka hana.
Kamehameha has made a commitment that we will speak ʻŌlelo Hawaii in whatever ways we can on our campuses, within our preschools, even at Kaiha'o Plaza here. Many of the people who are in classes now learning at their own pace are not in the education of our organization, but they're in the finance and administration, they're in human resources, they're in community relations, they're in our endowment. And they're all learning ʻŌlelo Hawaii at their own pace and at their own time and feeling comfortable with it. Because we understand that as a Hawaiian organization, it's our responsibility to carry our language forward.
Ua ho'okumu ia ke ia ano kaila ho I ka a'o ana I ka ko ʻŌlelo makuahine ma Aotearoa. Malalo ke kahi hui I ka ia te atarangi. O nā kila still kai ho'okumu ia ano kaila ho ma Hawaii nei. O ko'u mana'o oi hoi mai maka'u. I nā la'a ia oi ka iini e a'o mai ka ʻŌlelo makuahine e waiho I ka maka'u I ka ā'a. A komo I loko aia no kāko a pau ma ho'okahi wa'a.
When a child is bilingual in general, we know just by research that their IQ is higher. But when they are part of their own language and their own heritage, it gives them the foundation to grow. So we also know in research that when they can relate to who they are as a Hawaiian, they can also relate to everyone else in the global community.
There were a number of skeptics when schools began in Hawaiian again in the 1980s. A number of people believed that it would not be possible to educate children to a high academic level through Hawaiian. Others felt that the children would never learn English. But both of those things have proven false. All of the children in all these Hawaiian immersion schools and Punana Leo speak English quite well. And there's actually a higher academic result from these schools than standard public schools.
Eia na eia makou kako ma'anei he 2.5 makahiki ma hope mai o ke lawa. Lo'a ka meheu e kumai ana e ho'ike ana I ka waiwai o keia papahana. O kela mau mea I ano kanalua ai ka po'e mamua ua hiki ke ike ia a ale ana paha me ke la. No ka mea lo'a keia mau keiki I puka o keia ana ka umi I ko'u mana'o. O na makahiki I lo'a na keiki I puka mai ka papahana kaia puni aku. Ua ike ia I loko o keia mau makahiki ka hele ana o kela mau keiki I na ano wahi like ole no ke kula nui a pela wale aku ke kahi komo mana. Ano hana like ole ma ka pu alikoa paha. Ke kahi o na keiki o iai he mea nui ka ike I ka au kālai ike a me ka hiki ke hele I ke kula nui. Ua lo'a na haumana I hele I kela mau kula nui. Kaulana loa o Stanford ma lo'a ke kahi ma Oxford a kela mau ano. No leila, no ka po'e I ano kana lua I kela au no ka ho'ona'o wao. Ua ike ia hiki no.
When a child is bilingual in general, we know just by research that their IQ is higher. But when they are part of their own language and their own heritage, it gives them the foundation to grow. So we also know in research that when they can relate to who they are as a Hawaiian, they can also relate to everyone else in the global community.
I think people need to understand that English is everywhere. You're going to learn English, and the level of English that Hawaiian language medium education students have is just the same as English medium education, maybe even better because they have a better understanding of language.
Kauka mo pepa. Ke lula e kolu kaiki.
A leila ka loa ka hopo o ka ohana ke kahi manawa a me na hoa ea no ka maupopo ole o ke keiki i ka pelekania a me ka hiki ole i ke keiki ke puka lana kila ma ke iao e kuni a ole pona e hopo i na keiki a ike na ka ohana i ka nui o ko lako aka mai ka nui o ka hauoli ka nui o ka paa o ka lavena. A leila, mahope mai ua ano emi mai ka nui o ka ninau a me ka hopo. I ke lako he mea mai ka ikia no na kiki.
We've accomplished so many things in these past 20 years, but there's so much more. And we do still face other obstacles where people feel that it's not important, that the language is not important, that what we're doing is not important, that it may be actually hurting the kids rather than helping them academically. But we are still here because we know in our heart that it is an important thing and that our kids are learning.
Dolila, ki ano ni he mea vehe vole no mole kauka he mea
o hau oliva no ko mea ike wai ala ko ma na kula ni ke olia ko ma ke kai puni a mane ino i Kamehameha a ma ke kula nui ke ia mana hana wau ma ke kula nui a ike wai ala ko malai so nui ko hau oli pai wale wai ala ko a ho mau o ko no ko mea no ko ki au ma ko ka pai ala ka ia o ko pono o ko e ho mau ale ka ku hike ku ke ola ni ko ole lo ma o ko ana o ko e ho mau ako.
If you're going to compose in Hawaiian, then make sure you can speak Hawaiian. Yeah, do it in that particular worldview. Do it in that particular view of our surroundings.
One of the ways ʻŌlelo Hawaii lives is through Mele Hawaii, Hawaiian music. We were able to spend time with some of Hawaii's most talented haku mele and hear how they capture the soul of Hawaiian language through their music.
He mea no ka haaheo na po e Hawaii, ka hako ana o na mele I loko o ka ʻŌlelo. O ka ʻŌlelo, he mea vai nui ke la.
O ta hatu mene ia ue hoputana oi I na mana o na I ini ʻōlelo a ʻōlelo ore mei tōna aua kua. Hoputa iwa.
E ia mau mea apau ano puʻai o pili e mohala ni mamua o kau mau maka. Pehea e la e hoʻomua kakai. Pehea la e ka nui ke pehea la ke kahi. Kanaka, ka maina e ole ai iau, ka maina ole I ke ia ano nani. Ke ia ano ui palena ole o ke ia ʻāina. Makahaku mele.
It was inspired by 1895 Mele Lahui, songs composed during Queen Liliuokalani's imprisonment. And most of those compositions were written in defiance of the situation of that time and in praise and loyalty for the Queen. And I find myself a century later, with many other Hawaiians, feeling the same thing. Loyalty to Pauahi, defiance against what would be taken from her, and this overwhelming love and support. The need to say that nothing can take away that feeling that we have.
I am a people person. When I write, I have to be around people. Not too much difference in how Queen Liliuokalani wrote. She was a great observer of what happened around her. To me, interaction with people and the places that you go is fertile ground to write new music, especially the poetry in Hawaiian, and turn it into a song.
Ke hele wau I kohala, haku wau I mele no kohala, I paana mea ui iki ai, a ole wau kākau ma ka puke paha, paa ma ke ano he mele.
If you're going to compose in Hawaiian, then make sure you can speak Hawaiian. Yeah, do it in that particular worldview. Do it in that particular view of our surroundings. We articulate our experiences through poetry, through mele, through the stylized word. Not so much the spoken word, but the stylized word. And I think that's part of where mele comes from. It's stylized. And there's certain motifs that make it uniquely Hawaiian. We discourage translating, from English to Hawaiian because it doesn't capture the same mana. It doesn't capture the same kind of emotion that we're supposed to. I guess what I want them to actually see is through this is, the verses that talk about the different places in the song. So of course you have the house, which is over here. And then this is the beach that we grew up on down here. And so for me, those are the things that make what the song is. The sounds, the sights, the smells, and the remembrances. And so very few people have come down here. Take in what you can, envision what you can when you're singing, because that's what it is. It's an evoking of images and emotions.
Wa helu au keia mea a poi poi. Hana oe a weiho I kahi ho ailona wale no. I hiki I ka poe o hope mai ke ike he ala kupono keia e ho mau aku ai.
Mai kāna lua aiki. A ohe pu'u, a ohe ke'e, a ole hiki ki kāna lua aiki I ka mea I ku'una ia ma loko ou. Ma o ke koko. Ma o ka loina, ma o ka mo'omeheu, ma o ka wahi makua. A ole o hiki, a mai o iki. Komo ke nā ano ka nā lua ma loko ou. No ka mea nāu no ia. Nāu no ia.
Mea, kana kolu makahiki ko manao, e nui ho mai ana. Nui ho mai ana ka poe. Ke ike nei kākui ke manawa, I ke ao ana o nā keiki I puka mai nei mai ke kula kaia puni I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi. Ale a'o. Ka wala au wale ana no I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi I ko lākou mau home.
Pono kako e ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi ke puka kako I waho ma ka hale kūʻai. Ma ka panako, ma ka hale, ma na wahi like ole e ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi kako I ke kahi.
It's just a kuleana. There's nothing else to say about it. It's something that must be done. It's something that if we don't do this, there's nowhere else in the world where this language will live. So we have a kuleana to our ancestors, to my children, to ensure the continuity of this language.
Laha ana ka ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi I ʻōʻaʻo. Kena me ke ia kuʻono o ka honua. Pono I mea e ola I ka lahuia, I mea e ola I ka ʻŌlelo. Pono kako e laha mana ano mea a pau. Ma o na mele, ma o ka hana keaka, ma o ka papahana kiwi, ma o na moʻolelo. A pono kako e hoʻoia a hoʻomanaʻo aku I ko kako po e haumana. O ko kako mau me e oia na kupuna.
I think we are poised on the horizon of a brilliant future for Hawaiian language. For the young children who are learning ʻŌlelo Hawaii and it's second nature to them, ho'omau. For the teachers who have worked in very adverse conditions to make these language programs work, ho'omau. We also have so many tools that are being sort of unlocked and rediscovered for us today through publications. All of the Hawaiian language newspaper translations in the Ho'olaupa'i project. You can go to ulukau.org and you can learn your vocabulary online. I think if the stars are aligned and if things are continuing in the way they have been over the last 30 years, then we have a wonderful, brilliant future ahead of us.
Mea, kana kolu makahiki ko manao e nui ho mai ana. Nui ho mai ana ka poe. Ke ike nei ka kui ke manawa I ke ao ana o nā keiki I puka mai nei mai ke kula kaiapuni I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaii a ale ao. Ka wala au wale ana no I ka ʻŌlelo Hawaii I ko lāku mau home. No ka mea ke hana nei ke poe kaiapuni, haumana kaiapuni, puka mai ke kaiapuni I ka lāku mau ohana pono I hono a ke koho nei ke kahi o lāku e mālama I ka ohana ma ka ʻŌlelo Hawaii wale no. No leila ke ike ia nei ke kaili o keia ike mai ke kahi hanau na aku ai ke kahi hanau na aku. No leila o ka hopena o ke la o ia ke ola I ke mo aku.
He ʻŌlelo ke la e mālama ia nei, e hoʻāʻo ia nei, e hoʻikeika ia nei. Kokua. Ale hoʻohalahala kokua. Hoʻoulu I loko ka nā keiki. Ho'olu I ke lakuana I ke ho'oili.
Ua pale ka po a puka ke au, he au Hawaii.
No leila ke kahi mea nui no ke ia muaku, e noono o ke la me ke ia kanaka Hawaii, ka mua. I nā he Hawaii, kākou. Ale wau o nei ma ke koko a ka, I nā noono o he Hawaii. He haka mea e Hawaii nei kākou. O ka ʻāina wale no, ka lepo, ke ia makani me ke ia la e puka nei nā kakaiaka a pau. ʻAʻole, pono e hele ma o aku o ke la, ka hoʻikeika ana I ko kākou. Hea ke ia moʻomehe o ko kākou mauli I loko o kākou.
Ai, ka uleo paipai o iho I a kākou ka poe Hawaii e hoʻolohe mai nei. Pono kākou ke ola nei ko kākou ʻŌlelo. I
think the ʻŌlelo no ia that comes to my mind is the same one that always comes to my mind. O ke au I hala kalamaku o ke ali ke kupu kupu. The past is the beacon that will guide us into the future. And I think that says all that needs to be said.
Oi o no ia ʻŌlelo, ola ka ʻŌlelo ʻŌiwi o ka ʻāina. Ola no mana wahi a pau ma Hawaii nei a ma waho aku kekahi. O ka mea nui, ola no ka ʻŌlelo ma ka naʻau o ka lāhui. He hoʻoilina no na hanauna he lehulehu. Thank you for joining us in this celebration of Hawaiian language. Kia kua pū a hui hou kākou.